And joining us now is Democratic Senator of New Mexico, Martin Heinrich. Senator, would you support using unanimous consent to pass the Epstein measure, or would you rather get a full vote, get lawmakers on the record?
Well, I think we should go on the record, but I would be happy to have the vote either way. The reality is we don't have to have a vote for these documents to be released. The president has all the power in the world to release these documents, and the fact that he has spent so many months trying to gum up the process in the House, trying to slow this down, he could just do this today.
Well, we know that there has been delay, including swearing in Adelita Grijalva, but Majority Leader Thune has yet to say whether he'll put it up for a vote. Some Republican senators are now saying they would support releasing these files. Take a listen.
Sure, I'd vote for it. The Democrats have been yelling about it. Let's just shut them up.
Well, do you believe the bill to force the release will get a vote in the Senate if it passes the House today, and when, if so?
Well, I think if Republican leadership tries to bottle this up in the Senate, the same sort of support is going to build over time. I don't know that that's something that in the long run can be successful. People expect transparency on this issue now, and so we should just put it on the floor and have a vote.
So earlier on Capitol Hill, the House members who led the discharge petition and House Speaker Mike Johnson had very different messages for the Senate, as they all expect the House to pass the bill later today. Let me play those for you.
They need to pass this in the Senate, and they should not amend it.
If you do anything that prevents any disclosure, you are not for the people, and you are not part of this effort. Do not muck it up in the Senate.
Well, I'm very confident that when this moves forward in the process, if and when it is processed in the Senate, which there's no certainty that that will be, that they will take the time methodically to do what we have not been allowed to do in the House, to amend this discharge petition and to make sure that these protections are there.
Using that phrase, Senator, take the time, might indicate delay. Could there be a standoff in the Senate on whether to make any changes if they do take up the bill?
I think we should just pass this. That would be my preference. If you want to have amendments, I mean, that's the prerogative of the leader, but don't use that amendment process to try to water this down or try to, hide transparency from the public.
I also, while we wait, because we're watching some members speaking on the House floor, I want to ask you about a couple of other stories in the news. You unveiled new legislation today to strip a provision in the government funding bill that allows senators to sue the government if their phone records are investigated without informing them. Why do you think this is important?
Well, at the 11th hour, an Easter egg was tucked into that spending bill that will virtually guarantee that 8 senators who were part of a legitimate investigation where a grand jury subpoenaed certain government records will get millions of dollars of taxpayer money. They literally went back in time and retroactively changed the standard. So it pretty much guarantees that this small group of senators will get millions of dollars in damages. I think that's outrageous at a time when when literally people are struggling to pay for their groceries, they're losing their health insurance, and senators are going to get millions of dollars in taxpayer dollars. To me, that's just bonkers.
I also want to ask you about what just happened in the Oval Office. President Trump hosting Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman. It is the Saudi leader's first visit since the 2018 brutal killing of U.S. resident and Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Last hour, I spoke to Khashoggi's widow about how she views this meeting. Let me play that.
I have a very heavy feeling today. I cannot express it. It's very painful, it's very heavy, and a mix of feeling. What I really wish out of this visit, this subject, it's open and is not being forgotten, and there is things that need to be done. There is unfinished business here.
The U.S. intelligence community assessed that the Crown Prince approved the operation to capture or kill Khashoggi. The president suggested that MBS didn't know anything. I wonder what you make of the meeting today.
Well, I'll tell you what I think of this entire visit. And in my home state of New Mexico, we have a saying that goes a little bit like, tell me who you hang around with, and I'll tell you who you are. And the fact that this president had MBS to the White House says everything you need to know, not just about MBS, but about President Trump.
Senator Martin Heinrich, thank you very much.